Ready to start? We can start. We can go right fucking now. Let me fix a couple things here. Here we go.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your host, Travis Holmes.
So someone posted on a Facebook post that I posted. Can I say that again? One more time? I haven't really given it much thought as far as today's show, but I'm going to talk about it. If you're new to This Is 50, welcome to my mental health show. We do this every Friday at about 3 p.m. It's 2:30 today, but we're streaming live over on our YouTube channel. And because of this person, I have made decisions in my life. Life decisions were made, which brought me to the direction that I'm at right now. And because of this person, I look at people and how do I, I'm trying to set up the teaser, but he influenced my life. My life was going great. My life was going good. I had everything ready. I was getting ready to do all this stuff. My plans were this. My plans were that. I was going to have a career doing this. And then this person showed up and ruined everything for me. And I'll get into what he did and what came to be and all that stuff later on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had big plans. At a young age, I had big plans. And those all changed within a 4-year span. So I'll tell you about that here in a little bit. So my neighbor, with the 15 kids and stuff next door to me, he came up. I'm mowing the lawn. You know, I'm just trying to head down. I'm trying not to make eye contact with him anymore. We don't have that relationship anymore. And I'm head down. I'm mowing my lawn and doing all that stuff, and kind of pops out in between the bushes and stuff that separate our properties. Hey, neighbor. Now, he's not home all the time. He's a pilot, so he's gone for stretches at a time, 5 days at a time. You know, he's doing a leg to California and then a leg coming back to the Charlotte Douglas area. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, a little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. We have horses, chickens, cattle, all that stuff. Not cattle, but you know what I mean. We got a lot of stuff. And he's got, I think, 18 acres next door to us. So now and then he pops out. Hey, neighbor, and he's younger than I am. He's been married 25 years. He's got 6 kids, and I think he's 46 years old. Now, I'm 53, and I've been doing this show for the last 4.5 years now. So he pops his head out, and I'm like, oh, hey. Now, if you've ever heard me talk about him, he's very religious, wants me to convert, wants to convert me. I'm the black sheep of the neighborhood, I guess. I don't know. Hey, we got a church meeting this Sunday. Nope. Fine, I'm good. Okay, well, everyone's always welcome. Punch and pie. Fuck that. And this is the same guy I used to do all the prompts and stuff. Hey, Travis, can we borrow your equipment? I said, you can't borrow it. I said, I'll set it up and do what you need me to do. I'm not giving you this, thousands of dollars worth of stuff. No. And he's right next door, and I'd sit there and drink beer. Do you have the latest one by Amy Grant? No. Oh, I have the internet. Hold on. Yes, I do. Hold on. Your laptop and pull it down. We love Amy Grant. Who was the other guy my mom used to make me go watch? Carmen. Oh, fuck me. So he pops his head across the bushes there. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Haven't talked to you in a while. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Hey, how are you? Chit chat back and forth. and just small talk. I think he's trying to feel me out, whether I'm still mad at him, like internally mad at him. He doesn't know I'm mad at him, you know. But internally, I just kind of remove myself out of the situation. And he goes, this and that. And I said, so am I cool to still drive down to the backside of your property and do what my neighbors back there want me to work on with my tractor? He's like, yeah. So what are you doing back there? Why do you need to drive down my access road to get to the backside of the neighborhood? And just to recap everything, my property runs across the back of everyone else's, where I go running. Runs across the back of everyone's neighborhood, or the neighborhood next door that runs across the back of them. But there's a section where his kind of bends over across the back of mine, and I don't have access to that because that's his property. You know, I'm not going to sit here and argue with him. And I said, well, I need to get back to that part, that back corner of your property, because the neighbors want to build something back there, and I got to bring the wood down there. So we get to talking, and he goes, well, we're taking our goats and we're going to make this, I'm going to drill some holes and run some fencing down, and our goats are going to we're going to make it so where they can go all the way back to the backside of the pasture or backside of our property and all the way back up so they can roam free. They're not just on top of the house type deal, because essentially that's what it is. Their house has everything. They got 1,000 goats, 1,000 chickens, 1,000 ducks, 1,000 dogs, and it's all on their right there by the house. Everything's right up on top of them. So they're utilizing their property, and he's like, we'll have everything kind of spread out a little bit so, you're not listening to everything all day long. I said, well, I don't want to get between these neighbors. I don't. But I said to him, the thing that I'm building back there is a backstop for a shooting range. He's like, what? I go, yeah, the neighbors back there who I've become friends with, Angie and her husband, Travis, that Angie. Her husband is somewhat of a competitive pistol shooter, bing, 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 bing. And he wants to practice at home. He has every right to. We live out here in the Carolinas. We live out in, a rural area. His house sits on 3 acres. He's allowed to shoot a pistol with no problem at all. But he wants to be safe. So I'm taking railroad ties to the backside of his property, stack them up, so he has a backstop there. He goes, so which way is he going to shoot? I said, dude, I don't know. I was just told, can you help us? I have a tractor. Yes, I'll help you. We need to bring railroad ties to the backside of the property. Can we get access to it? I'll ask my neighbor. That's all I know. Whatever outside of that, you might want to figure that out. He goes, so you don't think it's a good idea for me to run the goats back there? Dude, I don't know. I'm just not the messenger. I'm just the guy doing the work. Okay? Take it up with them. You got goats. He's got pistols. You've got shotguns and stuff. Everyone's got guns, right? Everyone's happy. Welcome to America. So you're saying it's not a good idea for me to run the goats back there? If he's being responsible, you can have a playground with a kiddie slide and all that stuff down in that corner. If he's responsible, nothing should happen. Okay. We're getting ready to go to Austria. I said, oh, Australia? He goes, no, Austria. I said, like the country Austria? Yeah, we're going to Austria. And I go, well, why'd you say it like that? Like what? You said you're going to Austria. Yeah, Austria. Okay. Who's all going? All the kids are going. We're going to Austria. But are you Austrian? No? Okay. You bringing the clan? Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Did I say that? Oh, I had a couple beers. You bringing the clan with you? Yeah, the whole family's going. Yeah, that's what I meant. The family. Family's going with you? Yeah. All right. It's kind of a weird destination. You know, we just got back from Paris and London and all that. I said, have you ever been over there? No, we're going to Austria. Okay. And I wave to him like this, see you later. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, see you later. Straight out Hitler style. And he waved back the same way. Imagine that. No, I was kidding. He didn't do that. I found out something about my shoes, my running shoes. Not too happy about that. Believe me, it's interesting and entertaining at the same time. So stick around. I'll be right back. All right, everyone watching this live, see you later. You're going to have to watch the rest of the video later on. All right, so see you. Bye. I have been not worried about this show this week because I stockpile a lot of stuff as far as what's going on. And I was thinking to myself, well, not a whole lot's going on, little things here and there I can talk about. I can talk about this, talk about that. I've got a young lady who's going to come on here. We were going to try to get her on this week. Unfortunately, she's really, really busy doing other stuff or trying to get her things in line and stuff. And so we might have her on next week. So she's got an interesting story to talk to us about. And so we'll get her story hopefully next week. So stick around for that as well. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like going, well, I was going to talk about my shoes. Everyone's like going, great entertainment, Trav. No, really. And then I saw the post on a Facebook photo that I put up there. And the photo that I put up there is me, I think age 14 maybe, in Little League Baseball. Posted that up there. And I said, if you see yourself in this picture, tag yourself, tag your friends, tag whoever. And there was one guy in the picture. It's been up for probably 4 months now. He tagged himself in the picture, and I go, oh, that guy. Don't like that guy. And I'll dive into his reason behind that as well. So my wife, oh, you know what? I'll save it for next, because I got to go get my shoes. I want you to see my shoes that my wife got me for Christmas and how much I've been running. I mean, running, trotting, jeffing is what they call it, where you run, 50 yards and then walk 30 yards and run 50 yards and, walk 50 yards. And I do that for 4 miles. I want you to see my shoes, and I'll put them I'll go downstairs to the back porch area and I'll grab them. And I'll bring them in there. Bring them in, and you can look at them and tell me what should I do with them. My wife bought me one of those water cannons where you do the soap and stuff. You put it in there and you would do the thing on the end of your hose and you spray your vehicle or whatever and you let it soak and then you kind of wash everything off. I was so excited to use it. I went out there the other day because of all the pollen and everything here in the Carolinas. I'm sure it's all everywhere. And I was like, I don't have any soap for the car soap or whatever they call it, car wash stuff. I've got nothing. So I'm Googling online. I've got everything to make everything. I can make pipe bombs. I can make a souffle. I've got all the ingredients. I just need to know how to put them together. No, I don't have stuff. I don't want anyone running out and freaking out that I can make pipe bombs. No, I don't have that. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. So I came across how to make your own water cannon soap for your vehicle. Perfect. Get ready to use this thing. I'm like, I'm so excited. I can wash my car at home and save me whatever the $20 is to run your car through the car wash. When I say car, my Chevy Silverado 2500 series. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It's a big vehicle. I'm not paying, and the car wash does a shitty job. It always does. Blah. So I look up how to make a homemade soap cannon. That sounds even worse than the pipe bomb, doesn't it? How to make a homemade soap for your cannon. Still sounds bad, no matter how I say it. It says, 2-3 tablespoons of baking soda. All right, I got baking soda. 4 or 5 tablespoons of dish soap. I'm like, okay, dish soap. I got that. Put all that in there. I think it said a little bit of rubbing alcohol and then water. And then that was it. And the guy on the YouTube, and this will clean your vehicle, and all the bugs and stuff, and bug and tar and paint and all this, not the paint like your actual paint, like if you got paint from running over paint cans, you guys at construction sites. It'll take all this off and your car will be crystal clear. And if you want, you can put a little wax in it. If you got like a paste wax, you can put it in there. And I'm like going, okay, well, I don't have wax per se. I've got like, I think I fucked up. I've got like the wax that you use for like little scratches and stuff. Just rub it on there and, you can buff it out and boom, the scratch is gone. Not deep scratches, just like a branch or something rubbed against it. So I make this concoction and I'm spraying my truck down and it says, leave it on for 15 minutes and then come by and brush it, agitate it and then rub it in and then rinse it off. So I'm on the driveway and I got the truck out there and I'm dragging the hose around. I'm soaking it and I'm letting the whole thing soak. Well, here's the only thing that I know that you should not do. You should not wash your car in direct sunlight. When I say direct sunlight, if that sun is up and the temperature of your vehicle, the surface temperature of your vehicle is anywhere above 75 to 85 to 95, somewhere in there, I don't fucking know. If it's hot, you don't want to leave soap on there very long because what happens? You might as well, bake it into the surface because it's going to sit there. You're going to have to scrub and scrub and scrub to get that stuff off. So I'm not thinking about it. I'm having a couple beers. I'm spraying the truck and I get a phone call and I'm like, well, what are you doing? I said, nothing, just waiting for the soap to, eat away my paint or whatever I said to the person I was talking to. And I said, well, let me go. I gotta wash this stuff off my truck. So I get out there and I get the $20 hose end attachment that's got the power. Oh, it's a jet. It's better than the pressure washer. Man, fuck that. No, it's not. So I'm sitting there spraying the truck down and I've got, my wife bought me, instead of the head of the wand for scrubbing the truck, it's microfibers, all these little fingers and stuff. So I'm, using that and, washing and spraying and rinsing. It's like a regular Hardee's commercial out there. I'm getting wet and dancing on the hood of the car, eating a cheeseburger. And I'm washing the truck down, rubbing the truck down, and I rinse it off and I stop and I look and I go, well, it looks pretty good. And I wait and everything dries and I go, fuck. There's like I didn't even rinse it off. There's these light, powdery, so pissed. This white, powdery residue on the vehicle. I said, well, what the fuck is this? So I go, well, maybe I'm just smearing it around. I need to, fresh, clean water. So I rinse out my microfiber brush with the better than the pressure washer sprayer for the end of my hose. Clean it out real good. And then I go over the truck again. Just clean water. Me, the brush, and clean water. Just spraying the whole thing, going around, rinse it off. And then this time, I like to use my little handheld blower, echo blower, blow all the water off so it doesn't sit there and pool and stuff. Nothing. I've still got these powdery streaks. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? Now, something I didn't tell you is that when I bought the truck, we paid to have, was it ceramic coating, ceramic bright, some kind of ceramic coating on there. And every 5 years, I got to go up there and they'll reapply it. But I asked one detailer guy about 2 years ago, 2 years prior to this, hey, how much would you charge me to detail the car or my truck? And he looks at it and he goes, it's $200, $250. It's still a new truck. I'll detail it and wax it and stuff. I go, well, it's got that ceramic coating on it. He goes, oh, fuck that. He goes, $350, $400. I go, why? Why did it jump so much? He goes, that ceramic coating on there, no matter what you do, no matter what soap you use, no matter what happens, I could rub the thing whole down with a chamois cloth. It leaves this film. I said, really? I said, I thought it was me. He goes, no, it's that ceramic coating that's on there. He goes, you got to use some kind of special. And when I bought the vehicle, they had the special wash and wax. They had a whole set of like 7 bottles they gave me. It was like a tackle box full of stuff. I go, here you go. There's your stuff to clean the truck. Well, of course I ran out of that. You can get it more if you want. All you got to do is drive up there. But every time you go up there, you get another box of the 7 things. Interior cleaner, wheel cleaner, outside wash, outside wax, inside cleaner, inside Armor All. It's a box of like 7 things, and they're only like 12, 14 ounces, and you run through them like within 2 washes. So I've got everything. I've got all the interior cleaners coming out my ass. I don't have the exterior stuff. He goes, you got to use that. You got to use that cleaner. I said, fuck. Are you fucking kidding me? No, you don't. He's like, yeah, you do. He's like, it'll never come off. He said it doesn't come off. You got to buff it out. So I go out there and I take my hand on the truck and I rub it, and I can feel it, the baking soda that's still on the truck. So I went and did some research and found some stuff. So I got this spray-on wax that you spray on and wipe it off and spray it on. I've used it on one side. I use it on the driver's side. It's working. It's working. It's like $20 a friggin' squirt bottle thing, 32 ounces or whatever. I just got to do the other side. So I'm pissed. I saw, speaking of TikTok and watching videos, I saw something on TikTok. It was redneck sushi. And it looks so good. I said, babe, we got to do it. She's like, I'm not eating that. I said, we got to do it. It looks so good. It looks like regular sushi with the rice and the seaweed wrap. And we bought some stuff for the redneck sushi. And my wife goes, nope, it's all you. It's all you. And I made it. And she's like going, can I have another bite? I'll tell you what all went into it when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. Ceiling fan, John Wayne and the ceiling fan. Oh, yeah, that's true. If you listen to last week's episode. So my wife, as you guys, if you're new to the program, welcome. We appreciate you following me on this journey as far as getting older and realizing that the stuff that, as a kid growing up, you can't do anymore. Not physically, but mentally too. There's a lot of stuff you can't do anymore. Can't act immature. You can. Sometimes it lands you in jail, but still, you can do a lot of things, but you get to a point where people look at you a little different, like my wife does every day. So as you guys know, I've been running now. This is my 3rd year running, and I say running. It's a 4-mile walk, jog / get my ass out there, get my heart rate up. And in the process, not to drop weight, that's a benefit of it, but because my job, this is it. This is my job. 5 days a week, I'm sitting in the studio doing something, whether it's editing or doing a different show. There's 4 different shows that I do, this being one of them. I don't get out and get a lot of quote-unquote activity, movement. So I took it upon myself to get, not in shape, just get out there and move a little bit more. Some of the benefits of that has been weight loss. My blood pressures have gone down and all that stuff. So my wife this year, she's like, after 2 years of doing it, she's like, oh my God, you're really, you look good. And I'm really proud of you. So I'm for Christmas, and I'm all about don't spend any money on me. Don't spend any money. Don't buy me anything. Don't, it has to be, if it's $200, it better be worth $200. If it's, if we can get something that's a little bit less, we'll get something less. It'll make do. My equipment here, I don't want to say I spent a lot of money on it, but I want the good stuff for doing the show. I want a good product for you guys to sit back and enjoy. So I do spend a little bit more money on myself as far as, the mics and those cameras and the studio and the sound and the editing and all. Anyways, right, I'm digressing here. So my wife took it upon herself to say, I'm going to buy you a good pair of running shoes. I said, okay. So that's what I got for Christmas. Now, if you were on our trip, if you were lucky enough to survive our trip to Europe, our little group of 14, 15, 13 people, you saw these just about every day. These are my actual running shoes that I use when I go running, and they're comfortable. They're made by, they're like real proud on here. Somewhere it says Swiss Precision Engineering. And I want to call them ONs. What camera am I on here? ONs or something like that. It's like an O with a little dot and upside down N, or not upside down, regular N. Nothing fancy on them. You can see these are a little worn. This is my left foot. Keep this in mind. This is my left foot. You can see the heel's a little worn out there. But this is after doing, since Christmas, 4 miles Monday through Friday. That's my left foot. The reason why I bring up the left foot, this is my right foot. Hold on. Let me switch it around. You see the difference? There's no heel left. Swiss Precision shoes, and it says on here, hold on, Cloud Tech. Ooh, Cloud Tech? Swiss Engineering. And then it says, God, I can't even read it. Kalion? If I only had a flashlight. I can't even, Helion. Helion heel. Look at it. Now, you can see it real bad there. See, that's the outside. That's the inside. Look how much I've worn off. And I told my wife, I said, my body's not feeling right. I'm starting to get like pains in my back from running and stuff. Throw those over there now. I said, look at my heels. She's like, oh my God, you've worn them out already. Yeah, this is April. She's like, babe, I go, I'm running. Are you doing it right? I only know one way to run. That's forward and not from falling. If you're running and falling, you're not doing it right. She's like, well, that's the last time I'll pay $170 for these shoes. I said, you paid what? $175 for these shoes? You know what I was running on before? A pair of $50 New Balances. And they worked fucking fine. She's like, well, I figured if you spend a little bit more money, they'd be a little bit more better for you. I said, yes, babe, they were for 4 months. And now the heel's worn out. And I'm running like I'm like I got a flat tire. I'm running down the street and I'm like going, why is my back, my crushed I got dirt all over me here. The vertebrae that I have issues with, why is it flaring up again? Well, because I'm running like a friggin', like I got a club foot or minus a club foot. Because of the heels blown out on it. She's like, well, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. Should I write a letter? I want your opinion. You people out there. You people out there. You runners out there. Should I write a letter to them and say, hey, look, since Christmas to now, April 10th, running 4 miles Monday through Friday, should your shoes wear out this fast for being $150? Because on the flip side of that, my wife just bought me a pair of New Balances, and I said, babe, the higher the number on the New Balances, the better they are, the better they're made. She's like, what do you mean? I said, don't buy me the 451, buy me the 680 something or whatever they are. Well, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, that's how New Balance works. So she bought me a pair of New Balances around the 600 series. They were like $70. And I guarantee you, those are going to last all the way till the end of the year, if not longer than that. So should I write a letter to them? To the Oni people? The Swiss Precision people? Maybe I'll give it to my neighbor and he can go over to Austria, drop them off and get me another pair or something. I don't know. So one of the TikTok things that I saw is redneck sushi. When they do it on TikTok, of course, it never looks exactly like when you do it at home. But there's a cannon. There's a tube, plastic tube that my wife, I made her get. It was like $20. And it's got the bamboo rolly thing, when you do whatever. The bamboo or the plastic tube, you pack the rice in there, and then you put this bar in the center of it, pole, and it makes the little opening, a divot, a ditch, for whatever toppings you put in there. So you can put cucumbers in there, you put crab in there. So the rice is on the outside of this tube that's basically about maybe 12 inches long, cut in half. You pack it full of rice. You put the tube in there so it kind of packs it all together, and you can put your center things in there, cream cheese and whatnot. The video that I saw, the guy was putting Vienna sausages in there and slicing up like real thin, like, you know, how you have like imitation crab, same thing. And you close it up and you squeeze it together and you compress it and then you spit it out and then you roll it up and then you eat it. So she bought me the tube. It works. It works. It works. I didn't have any patience for it, but the whole process works. You have to have a little patience for it. But I also bought cans of Vienna sausages and cans of Spam because they did it a couple different ways. So my wife, when I go grocery shopping every Friday, like I always do, this is about a month and a half ago, she's like, what are you going to do with all this stuff? And I showed her the video after, and she's like, oh, gross. So, of course, I made like one by myself to try it out. It was all right. It was messy. It was yeah, I don't know. So fast forward to last weekend. And I go, babe, do we have any bacon or anything? Nope. Oh, because I always ask her, what do you want for breakfast on the weekends? Because I like making breakfast for her. She's like, I don't know. I said, you want grits? Grits and eggs? No. Do we have any bacon? I don't think so. I think we used it for the soup. All right. I said, well, I got some Spam still. Haven't even opened the can yet. So, no. What do you mean, no? Have you had Spam before? She's like, yeah, my mom used to eat it all the time. I said, okay, well then have some. No, gross. I said, you like hot dogs? Well, not all the time. I said, it's the same thing. She's like, it's lips and assholes. I said, all right. And I literally, I'm trying to prove her wrong. I'm reading the can. I'm like going, all right, where does it say fucking lips and assholes? I know it says pork on here somewhere. Oh, here it is right here. Pork, cornstarch, filling, questionable filling there, and sodium extract and something else and preservatives or something. So I opened the can up. It's a pop top can. Now, the last time I've ever had Spam, it had the key on it. And all the young kids out there are going, what do you mean a key? There was a little metal tab on the Spam can where you put this key in that they glued to the top of the can, and you open it up like a can of sardines. You roll the thing around and it peels the little strip and you can pull the whole top off. And then you used to drain it like Vienna sausages. Today's Spam, not the same. It's a pop top. Shunk. No juices, no flow, no nothing. It's vacuum sealed because as soon as you pop that top, shunk. You heard it. So I'm sitting there making breakfast. I'm like, and I'm slicing it like maybe a 1/4 inch thick. Throw it on the pan there. Throw more, and I'm using the bacon from the soup we made the other night. The bacon grease. Sorry, bacon grease, not the bacon itself. We saved the bacon grease. So I'm slicing, slice. Had about 8 pieces in the pan, and she's sitting there and she's going through her phone. She's sitting across from the stove there on our island because the stove is in the center island. And I'm sitting there and I'm flipping them, and she keeps looking like, they smell good. I said, you want some? She's like, no. I said, all right, fine. Sitting there and I'm like, happy to cook some Spam, flipping them over, get a nice crust on them, pull them out, let them cool down a little bit. I couldn't fit all 10 of the slices into the pan, so I threw the last 2 pieces in there. I'm like, let them cool down. And I reach over and I grab one that's cooled down a little bit. Now, I have not had Spam since I was a child growing up. And when I had it, it was always raw, cut in cubes, and my mom used to put them on crackers or something, a little cheese whiz on top. And then as I got older, I heard people about frying it and how good fried Spam is. The restaurants around here, this is how out in the woods we are. There are restaurants around here that say Do you want bacon? Do you want sausage? Do you want liver mush? Or do you want Spam with your breakfast? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are out here, babe. Let me tell you. So I always like look at the menu. I'm like, they actually serve this stuff in restaurants. This is a meal that someone eats. So with all that playing in my mind, and I'm sitting there looking at this pan, and I'm laughing. I'm having a good time because in my mind I am. She's just sitting there turning her nose up at it, and then she peers at it once in a while, and I put it all on a paper plate and let it cool down a little bit. Don't want you burn yourself. And I take a bite. Took a bite. She's like, how is it? I go, it's good. I said, you know what it needs? Take another bite. Little mustard. Forgot we need mustard. Put a little mustard on my plate. Take a bite. I said, do you want to try some? Okay. So I cut her a small little piece off. Hand it to her. And she's doing this. She doesn't even want to touch her lips. She just takes her teeth, bites it, and their mouth closes and swallows it. Takes another bite, just the teeth, no lips. And then that piece was gone. So I make my breakfast. I go in the other room. She's sitting there. I come back. 2 pieces are missing. I told my dad before I left the kitchen, Dad, I made some Spam in there, fried some Spam. Huh? Wake up. What'd you do? I said, I fried some Spam up. Well, I haven't had Spam for a very long time. All right, Dad, it's in there. Help yourself. So he shuffles his feet in there, Tim Conway style. Grabs a piece. He does that. Oh, it fucking drives me crazy. You ever seen The Dark Crystal? The Skeksis? They go, That's what my dad does. I want to, It makes my blood curdle when he does it. He comes in, grabs a piece of Spam, takes a bite. Oh, it's delicious. So he leaves. Yeah, I go in there and take inventory, and there's another piece missing. I said, babe, did you have my Spam? Well, you're not going to eat it all, are you? No, I'm not. But I thought you didn't like it. It's okay. It tastes like bacon a little bit. It tastes. I said, oh yeah. And now I'm excited because she likes it. I said, well, you can have Spam this way. You can have Spam this way. And then if you have like 2 pieces of like day old bread, you can toast it and make a nice Spam sandwich and all that. And you can put pickles and onions and all this other stuff. She's like, whoa. You can put onions on this thing? I said, yeah. Oh yeah. So she loved it. I say loved it. She's not going to order it. She'll never make me buy it. But she had it. Good for her. I applaud her for trying it out. So we had Spam. My wife was reintroduced to Spam. I was reintroduced to the world of Spectrum and their customer service the other day. My wife says, can you please fucking handle this? And I said, how bad can it be? Well, I'll dive into what happened when we go back. So stick around. I'll be right back. I'll get into the person that commented on a Facebook post that I made here in a little bit that changed, not the comment that changed my life, but this person altogether, our relationship between the two of us made me change career paths in my life, which brings me here in front of you guys. And it's weird to think that something so small, something so juvenile happens when you're 14, 15 years old and you're trying to make your way in the world today, and it takes everything you got. I think I got a song there somewhere. And you got these big plans and everything, and then all of a sudden something happens and you're like going, well, I don't want that to happen again, so I'm going to change the way I live, the way I approach things, the way I do things, so that certain things don't happen. And I'll dive into that here in a little bit. I've got I don't know if it's related, but there's something wrong with my neck. You're 53, Travis. That's what's wrong with your neck. No. There's something wrong, and I worry about it because there was a stretch for a while where people were going to chiropractors. And I've been to a chiropractor before. You could say they're hooey. You can say they're for real, legit. I think there is some science behind it, but it's no different than me laying on the floor and my wife cracking my back, where she stands above me and pushes her knuckles down on my back, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and cracks my back, and I feel taller, and I feel the rush of blood going in my head. I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. Chiropractors kind of do the same thing, don't they? They might have a little bit more knowledge as far as what muscle group works with what bone joints, but still. When I sit in my luxury leather chair watching my 112-inch flat screen TV on Sunday, when I get up, I can do this with my neck. Sometimes in the morning, I can do this with my neck. And when I say, of course, I can do this. And I'm shaking my head like a no. Like, no. But when I get to all right, so let's say this right here, this is 90 degrees. Me looking at the camera here, and we have a video or YouTube channel. Yeah, that's what I got. I got a YouTube channel over there. This is 50, so check us out over there. You can see this in real time as I'm talking about. So if I move this is 90 degrees. If I move my chin to the 45-degree angle to the left or 45-degree angle to the right, when I hit the 45-degree angle, all my nurse friends and PhDs out there, pay attention. I hear on the back of my head, but it's coming from my neck, I hear the equivalent of two bones rubbing together, going both ways, both directions. Now, the reason why I bring up the chiropractor thing, because people were going to chiropractors and they were getting their neck adjusted and doing all that stuff, and there was a stretch of 4 or 5 different people. Hey, I got my neck adjusted, and left and died because the chiropractor accidentally severed a artery in their neck, adjusting them, and they bled out inside their body without them even knowing. They were dead within 10 minutes of leaving the chiropractor place. Yeah, look it up. It's a legit story. Chiropractor adjusts necks, people die. Something like that. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. So as I sit there, and I'm still doing it now, I'm listening for it. If I'm in a certain position too long, get up, fat ass, run around. In my comfy leather chair, I'm probably not sitting the best angle. I pull my feet up like a little girl, and I sit on my feet. Oh. But if I sit in certain angles, or I lay in bed in a certain angle, and I get up, I can hear this. And it's not a joint. It's not a ligament. I can feel in my neck, and I'm pointing to the back of my neck here, right at the base of my neck, I can hear it. And it's like sandpaper almost. 2 pieces of sandpaper rubbing against each other. And I go, okay, don't do it that too much because you might bleed out from the inside from all those stories that you listen to. So I don't know what that is. And it doesn't last all day. It lasts for a little bit. Now I'll do this, shrug my shoulders and kind of massage it out a little bit and stretch my neck, and then I end up dead. I'm dead. I'm always dying. Let's see, where do I want to go? Oh, I was talking about Spectrum. But I was worried about my neck dying. I wanted to bring that up before we got any further in the show. Spectrum. Do you have them? Do you like them? Oh. Out here, fucking hate them. I say that. I'm repeating what everyone else says. Little background on what we have here. Out here at the Hacienda. Like I said, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Small little town, population 2,500 people. And we do not have a reputable internet company. I can see it coming. I can see the utility trucks, 10, 15 miles down the road. They're bringing that fiber in here. But as of now, and for the last 14 years, we've had Spectrum. Now, between my job doing this and my wife's job working from home during the pandemic, and now she's kind of like doing a hybrid, three at home or 2 at home and 3 in the office. I don't know. I forget what she's doing. We have to have 1, secure internet, and 2, high speed. I mean, high speed as fast as we can get it. Now, my dad's got internet as well. He's got his own little branch, little tree limb off of our network that someone can't take a back door and get into our network. So my dad has internet. We have internet. It's all on one bill. My dad has Spectrum TV because he needs to watch his shows. We have Hulu, Netflix, all that other stuff. And of course, they always bundle the fucking phone. There's no way to get around it. The fucking phone. They want to bundle it. $30 a month for that fucking phone. Can we get rid of the phone? Then your thing goes up $50. I got to pay $30 to save $20? Yeah, it's a bundle package. I'm sorry. So I hear horror stories from my wife. She's like, I just can't deal with Spectrum. They are idiots. They're morons. And she's dealt with them all the time. She's always dealt with them as far as, because of her home office and stuff. Me, just keep the internet up and running. I don't care. If I have problems with it, I'll work around it. But she needs to have it for, business calls and all that stuff. The bill has gone up to $415. And you're like going, Jesus Christ. Well, hold on a minute. You're talking 2 fast, high-speed modems, routers, modems, whatever, I don't know. A full Spectrum TV package, and that goddamn bundled telephone that's on there. So add that up. 2 internet high speeds, $90-something plus $20 to make it go faster. Yeah, I saw the bill on that. $30 for the phone line, and then my dad's TV, which basically is technically now our TV because it's on our package, but still is $69, $39 or something like that. So you can do the math. Yes, it's $415 service tax fees out the door. My wife goes, it's gone up another $20. And she caught it when it went from $396 to the $214 or $414 that we have now. She's like, can you please? I do not have the patience nor the bandwidth, internet joke, to deal with Spectrum. I said, okay, sure. I got Tuesday off. I say Tuesday off. I got a little bit to do here on Tuesday. I'll dedicate about 2 hours to that, and I'll take care of it. Call him up. Hi, this is, Patrice from Spectrum. How can I help you? I said, Patrice, let's talk about the bill a little bit. I'm trying to lower my bill down here. Okay, let me pull up your account. Do you have your super secret password? And I go, no. Well, unfortunately, you're not on the account, so I can't really give you any information. I said, okay, I'll call you back. Asked my wife, hey, babe, I'm not on the account. I'm not. Oh, she's like, shit, hold on. Sends me an email. Within 15 minutes, I'm back on the account. And so I'm on line with someone else. Hi, Jocelyn. This is Jocelyn. Yeah, I'm trying to lower my bill down. Can we do something about this? I said, explain a couple things to me. And she's like, oh, sure, by all means. You've got this and this and this and this and this. I said, what's this $20 per 2 lines to double boost the speed? My wife says that we need this because we need to have that super fast, duper fast internet access. And she's like, you've got 2 modems? Okay, hold on, Mr. Holmes. We can take care of this right now. And you've got the TV package. You still want the TV package? Yeah, the TV package is fine. My dad needs it. If he doesn't have it, he'll die, I guess. I don't know. I said, it's the internet that I want, the internet speed and all that. I mean, can you hold on, I got to get my supervisor on it because you do have a dual line, double Dorito bandwidth or something. I said, okay, So I'm on hold. She comes back and she goes, how about if sir, do you like sports? Loaded question, right? I said, no, not really. I said, I watch NBA basketball. That's about it. Well, you don't watch the Super Bowl? I said, yeah, that's about it. She's like, well, hold on. We're going to give you a sports package. Okay, then give it to me. Hold on one sec. I got to get my supervisor back on the phone. So she goes away and comes back. She goes, okay, with the TV and the super duper package, now you also get Hulu, Disney Plus, Peacock. And she listed off like 5-6 different things that we get. And I'm like going, I'm thinking to myself, babe, aren't we already paying for this like separately somehow, somewhere? Not part of our spectrum. If it's included, let's cut those and fix them. So we're not paying the $20-something a month for Hulu or Stars. I know we don't have Stars. And then the TV package is this, and then your internet. Right now, you're right at 600 megabytes per day, or whatever seconds. However, she's like, you're on the super fast, but we have something super duper fast. I said, okay. How much? What is that? She's like, you'll have one full tetrabyte gig, whatever, 1,000 millibars gig. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And we can get rid of the $20. The total bill for everything and the sports package, you'll have every sport that's ever out there. If it's tennis, if it's golf, if it's football, baseball, basketball, NCAA, all that stuff, you'll have those channels. It's included in this. Okay, what's the price? $312. I said, $312? She's like, yes. Do you want me to sign you up for this? I said, yeah. I said, hold on. Is the phone still on there? She's like, yes, sir, it is. It's part of the bundle. And I go, it's $30. She's like, I know, but it's part of the bundle. And I go, well, hold on. I said, look, kind of fibbed a little bit, but she don't know me from Jesus. I said, this house was built without any phone line connections. You understand me? This house is a modern house. I got coax coming in. I got no phone line connection. I don't even know where to plug in a phone at. I understand that, sir. Can we just remove that? And then that's when she said, well, your price is going to go up $25 if you do that. I said, fine. Leave it on there. Don't call me. And she's like, oh, do you have a cell phone? Who's your cell phone provider? I said, T-Mobile. Well, you get one free phone, like a cellular phone, and 1 free year of service. I'm like, no. I said, no, it's just me and my wife. We're already set through her business and stuff. What about your dad? Does he have I said, yeah, he's got something through the AARP or whatever. He's got like one of those Obama phones or something. He's fine. He's good. We're covered. Oh, well, it's there if you want it. I said, is this something I'm going to have to cancel at the end? Or it's going to charge me? She's like, no, it'll just drop off. I said, okay. 30 minutes I was on the phone with him. Lowered the bill over $100. Wiped my hands. I did a good job. 30 minutes. It took for me to drop the bill $100. And I told my wife, I said, this is what the cost is. She's like, all right, fine, cool. And then, 2 days later, I had to call him back. Hey, the internet's not working. I got Alex in Texas. Nothing's working. Oh, well, I see that your new promotion just kicked in and everything went all. He's like, hold on one sec. Click. Within less than 15 minutes, he had the internet back up. It was still fast and everything was running good. He's like, boom. So I don't know what people were talking about as far as they hate Spectrum and dealing with them. I dealt with them just fine. If you're nice to them and you compliment them and you're just being a good person, as everyone should be, you should be good to each other for the most part. I got great service and we lowered our bill $100. Now, what's going to happen 6 months from now? I don't know. But I had great service. Where are we at on time? It's the first time I said it. Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Let me get into the comment on the Facebook page, because this is going to be heavy. It's going to be really heavy. So stick around. I'll talk about that when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. My neighbor's out there driving around my tractor. Not too happy about that. Not that he came over and like stole it, but hey, can I borrow your tractor? Yeah, guess so. What are you gonna do with it? Well, I'm just gonna move some dirt around and stuff for our garden, our forever garden, because we don't need anything that bought from stores. Jesus wouldn't like it that way. Are you gonna use the auger? Yeah, I put a new shearing bolt in there, so if it breaks, let me know. Okay. Burying bodies or something. I don't know what he's doing over there. Every time then the reason why I know. Finish the sentence. The reason why I'm leery as far as him borrowing the tractor, every time he uses it, something goes wrong with it. But we had it out running around and it worked fine. So if he breaks it, you buy it, right? Type deal. Where do I begin? Well, let's start at the beginning. My 7th grade year. Yeah, we're going back that far. My 7th grade year at junior high, before they turned it into middle school, I was sitting at the lunch table in the cafeteria with my friends and stuff, minding my own business, and understand that the town that I grew up in Orlando, Florida, you know, when you all go to elementary school, everyone transfers over to the junior high school, so everyone kind of knows everybody, but some people bleed in because the junior high circumference that brings in more kids, so you get a couple new kids in your group, so they kind of mingle and work their way in through the kids that you grew up in elementary school with. This girl that I knew since I was in daycare befriended one of these individuals that came in from from another elementary school into the junior high. At the time, I was playing Little League Baseball. That was not my goal, but I was very good at it. And I knew all the ins and outs. I knew all the rules, at a young age. I knew, all the statistics and all that stuff. I knew all that going into playing Little League Baseball. I loved it. It was good for me. It was good for my mind. I was cut out to be a baseball player. So this person befriended my friend, female friend. I'm just calling them by their names. Tina. Tina befriended this gentleman by the name of Shane. And I use the term gentleman very loosely. In my opinion, he is a cocksucking motherfucking asshole. So there you go. We can already start with that. And he used to play on the Little League baseball team. Not on my team, but he used to play Little League at the same place where I played Little League. 10 teams, kids from all over. One day he turned around to me and said, Travis. Yeah. And he's sitting with this girl that I've known since daycare. Used to go to her birthday. My mom would make me go to her birthday parties type stuff. Travis, yeah. I'm going to kick your ass after school. Now, mind you, here I am, 13, 14 years old. I'm just sitting there having lunch with my friends. He's one table over. You know what those banquet tables are? Those long, they're like in a row. They can break them down and clear the room if they need to. And he's one row over, and he's like, Travis, I'm going to kick your ass after school. I said, what? And I looked at him. I said, what? He goes, nothing, man. I'm just joking. Just joking with you. Well, he's sitting there, and he's the belle of the ball at that table. And they're all like, he's Shane. He's this guy. He's bigger than the rest of us. He's this and that and this and that. So I kind of went, this is the first time in my whole entire life that someone says, I'm going to kick your ass. My whole entire life, I've always been a big guy. Been a very bigger than the normal kids. Pituitary disorder type deal. and was very, very athletic. Always played baseball, always was in sports all the time, so I was fit. I wasn't like a big, fat, chunky kid running around going, Nintendo. No, I was outside. I was very physical, skateboarded up and down, the ramps and stuff. I did all that stuff. And I'm a Capricorn. So for someone to challenge me, I was kind of like, all right, who the fuck are you? So that started this spool of rumors and gossip and stuff. Shane's going to kick Travis's ass. Shane's going to kick Travis's ass. And it went from, this table to this, group of people and all this stuff. And people were like coming up to me in class, like, weeks go by, and weeks feel like months when you're in junior high. Travis, Shane said he's going to kick your ass after school. That type deal. I'm like, what are we living in, a fucking after school movie or something? He's going to do what? Yeah, he's going to kick your ass. He wants to meet you at the dead end. Well, I don't want to kick anyone's ass. I just want to go home and skateboard or do whatever. I don't want to kick anyone's ass. So I would take a different way home. A longer way home, but I would take a different way home to avoid him. My parents brought me up right. They brought me up. My mother brought me up in the sense of the Bible, do unto others as you would have do unto you, the golden rule type stuff. Be nice, be courteous, have, all that stuff. Kind of like what my neighbors are forcing on me now. It doesn't work, fuckers. Doesn't work. Well, for some people it does. If you're in a cult. So every day after school, I was afraid that this kid was going to kick my ass. And the reason why I say that is because he sucker punched me one time. And that's the first time in my life I've been hit. I mean, punched in the face. I've wrestled with kids, disagreement, and you push and, get out of my face, and, you push and argue and stuff. This kid, Shane, straight up haymaker. Well, bam! Hit me in the face. My eyes open wide up. I'm like, oh shit, this guy is fucking nuts. This guy wants to kick my ass. There's something I've done. I don't know what it was. There's something I've done where this kid at 14, 15 years old, whatever it was, wants to literally pound me into the fucking ground. Now, he's a little bit shorter than me, but he's a little bit stockier than me. So I said, I can't let that happen. I can't let that happen. So meanwhile, I'm playing baseball and doing the Little League stuff, and he's on a baseball team, and I'm on a baseball team, and all this stuff's going on, and blah, 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 blah. And, we get into the end of the season, and we get picked for an all-star team. Well, they pick the best players. I'm on the all-star team. Of course, I bat fourth. I'm the cleanup hitter. They can count on me to knock it out of the park. I played first base and third base because of my rifling gun arm. At the time, I was taller to play first base. I could stretch and catch the ball when it's thrown to me. I'm a big target over there. It's like Frank Thomas over there on first base. And he was on my team. Now, nothing happened while we were on the same team. Nothing, it kind of mellowed out a little bit. But the picture I took and posted on Facebook was all these classic kids. And people started, hey, that's Shane, or that's Rich, and that's Eric, and all these other people. Shane, who I haven't talked to in years, said, hey, that's me in the middle, right next to Travis or whatever. And I'm like going, the abuse did not stop in junior high. It went all the way to high school. Did I try out for baseball in high school? No, but I would have killed it. Because I knew that Shane, who was a bully, was going to beat my ass no matter what. I started playing basketball. Did I play basketball for the high school? No, because it was a school sport. It was a high school sport. I knew that any kind of high school gathering, no matter what sport it was, football, baseball, basketball, whatever, he would be at those events because he had no home life. He was, no one watched over him. He was just out there beating up people. he punched me, sucker punched me at least 4 or 5 times in a 4 or 5 year span. We never really fought, like face to face. But every time I was at an event or something, he would find a way to sneak behind me and sucker punch me and knock me to the ground. And everyone would be like, oh, Trav, you fucking pussy, and kick his ass. And I'd be like, no, there's no reason for me to kick this guy's ass. I have not done anything for him, towards him, or anything to make him hate me this way. I don't know what happened at that table at junior high where he turned around and said, hey, Travis, I'm going to kick your ass. I don't know what happened. So for 4 years, my whole entire junior high and high school, I did everything I possibly could not to cross paths with him. And everyone knew it. Everyone knew that Travis and Shane was a ticking time bomb as far as fighting. He hit me one time. I was in the back of a truck, like the bed of a truck. I was sitting there, and he's in the front seat. The guy driving the truck goes, I got to stop by and pick up my friend on my way to the whatever powwow, at high school thing. And he picks up Shane, and I go, and my heart just freaking dropped. I go, really? You're picking up this guy? This guy's your one you're picking up, the one that wants to kick my ass all the time? The driver didn't know. And he even told the driver, he's like, I'm going to jump out and punch him right in the face. And the driver said, no, don't do that. Sure enough, pops out, well, bam, right in the side of the head. I jumped up, what the fuck is your I'm mad, pissed. And he's laughing, giggling. Did I do anything? No. Driver, let's get out of here, Travis. Let's get out of here. All right, fine. So the only place I could express and get rid of this energy, I found shelter in drama in the auditorium. I would go in there and I would stay there after school, wait for everyone to leave school, wait for, I didn't have to worry about what path I was going to take going home, where I didn't have to cross his path or anything like that. I knew if I stayed there long enough, I could get home safely. I wouldn't get home till like 5 o'clock in the evening. But the switch off of that is I learned theater. I learned, set design, lighting design, acting, all that stuff. So my goals went from being, basketball player to theater nerd. Which brings me to you. Exactly to you. Now, granted, I did play basketball once I got out of high school. I found out that, Shane was I think he was locked up somewhere. He did some crack or something. I mean, that's what he ended up getting arrested a couple times. And so I'm like, all right, fine. He's gone. He's out of my life. I can now pursue dreams and ideas and stuff that I had before. I mean, he even fell out. He fell out of the back of a truck coming over to my house. And the truck, this is how stupid he is. The truck fucking ran over him. He's that much of a fucking dumbass. He was sitting in the back of like a Nissan, whatever, hard body. Truck took off. He fell out of the back of it, and the guy in the truck backed up over him, broke his arm. Because he was on his way to my house. Found out that I was home already and was on his way to my house to kick my ass. So stupid. So stupid. So he posted on the picture I took on Facebook, the All-Star team from 1989 or whatever year it was. No, it had to be 87 because I wasn't in high school yet. 87 All-Star team. There he is right in the middle of it. There I am right next to him. Everyone else posted, this, and all of a sudden, haven't heard from this guy in years. There's more behind the story, but I'm giving you the Cliff Notes. And there he is. He goes, yep, that's me right in the center. And I kind of like, ha, 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 right next to me. Awesome. Right next to me. Would my life be a little different? Would it be changed? Would I have gone on? Major League? I don't know. I don't know if I would have. NBA? Probably not. I was on the practice team, though. That was close enough for me. Practice team for the Orlando Magic. Yep. Did that for 2 years almost. So, yeah, I writing all the stuff down to get ready for today's show. I really didn't have a whole lot that I was going to dive into. I was like, oh, this will be a nice light and fluffy show. We'll talk about spam. We'll talk about my shoes. We'll talk about, me talking on to Spectrum Internet and, wrap it all up. And all right, see you. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. And then literally last night, that post hit and I go, God, you know what? I need to get this out. I need to get this out and talk about it for a little bit. I have talked about it before. This, like I said, this show's been going on for 4 years. Real short details I had with Shane when we first started the show. I said, this is what happened. And so I got bullied. And I was like, oh, yeah, it messed me up big time. So now that's kind of the history behind the actual bully behind me. Do I thank him? No. He doesn't deserve any credit. Am I happy where I'm at? Yeah. You don't know what, it's kind of like when someone says, don't you wish you had a brother or sister? No, I've never had one, so I don't know. Are you happy where you're at? Yes, I'm perfectly fine where I'm at. Do I ever wonder what would have happened? Yeah, you always do. If you didn't take a left instead of a right, if you wouldn't have, gone up instead of down, something like that, you'll always think about those life decisions. Do you think about if this person wasn't in your life, you wouldn't be the person you are? It's probably a good thing that I did have this conversation or did go through this with him and the emotions and how it made me think for myself and how can someone be this stupid? How can this person be so this way? Why is someone, that's the biggest thing. Why is someone letting him be this way? A bully that literally, like I don't know if it's his every breath he was taking, I need to beat Travis up. That's the way I felt. I wonder if he thinks about that. I wonder if he does. I wonder if he thinks about he's probably so fried. His brain cells are so fried. I know he was doing meth for a while. He's all ate up somewhere. And here I am sitting in this nice cushy studio talking to you. On 22 acres in Marshville. Shithole of a town. No, I'm kidding about Marshville. But yeah. So that's it. So that's what happened when I was 14. Next week, we'll talk about when I turned 15. Pass the lotion, please. No, I'm kidding. But I do thank you guys for listening to me work all this stuff out. I'll talk to you later, okay? See you, bye. Bye. Take care. See ya. Take care.